In the near 40 years of its existence, Survivor Series has been the home of shocking debuts, incredible matches, and whatever the heck the gobbledygooker was supposed to be. It's also been host to many last-minute replacements, as there have been countless times in this show's history that a competitor has been substituted for someone else. So let's talk about a few of them. Welcome to Lace 'Em Up Media, and here are the 10 times wrestlers were replaced at Survivor Series. Number 10. Getting clicked. For the majority of the New Generation era, the group of Triple H, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Sean Waltman and Shawn Michaels, aka The Clique, held a large amount of power behind the scenes, and it usually wasn't good for those they didn't like. One such wrestler was Jean-Pierre Lafitte, who left the WWE in 1995 due to issues he had with The Clique. Things would only get worse during a series of house shows that took place in Canada as Lafitte took on Michaels and Nash in a number of singles matches. However, his refusal to lose in his home country and attempts at retracting his decision made him public enemy number one for The Clique. At the 1995 Survivor Series, the opening contest saw the Body Donnas taking on the Underdogs in an elimination tag team match. The 1-2-3 Kid, aka Sean Waltman, ended up being a replacement for Lafitte on the Body Donnas side, as the Canadian Pirate left the promotion before the pay-per-view. Bonus fact, this show also saw Bam Bam Bigelow have his last match in the WWE against Goldust, with a big man leaving due to issues he also had with The Clique. Number 9. Rock In, Rock Out. Often overlooked by his contemporaries, Don "The Rock" Muraco was a popular wrestler during the 1980s as he became a two-time Intercontinental Champion and the winner of the very first King of the Ring tournament. Going into the 1987 Survivor Series, Don Muraco was a part of Hulk Hogan's team against Andre the Giant's team in the show's main event. Muraco's spot on the team came as a result of superstar Billy Graham being taken out of action by the one-man gang on the November 17th edition of WWF Superstars. Fast forward almost a year later, and it would be Muraco who needed to be replaced as he was gone by October of 1988. Muraco was scheduled to be part of the Ultimate Warriors team against Team Honky, but his departure would lead to the WWE replacing him with Jim Brunzell, formerly of the Killer Bees. Number 8. Tully Gets Busted. As the father of former TNA Knockouts champion Tessa Blanchard, Tully proved that creating controversy in professional wrestling is something that runs in the family. As a member of the Heenan family and one half of the Brainbusters alongside Arn Anderson, Tully became a one-time WWF Tag Team Champion. Unfortunately for Tessa's dad, his run with the company would be short-lived when he and Anderson planned to leave the WWE for WCW. Combined with failing a drug test in November of 1989, Blanchard was soon let go and his career never really recovered afterwards. Tully was set to be a part of a traditional Survivor Series match in 1989, but instead was replaced by former manager Bobby the Brain Heenan. Number 7. Jinder Gets Hindered. Jinder Mahal's unexpected rise to becoming WWE Champion in 2017 left many shocked, mainly because of how out of nowhere and sudden it all felt. It soon emerged that Jinder's push to the top and WWE title run was done in order for the company to break into the Indian market, something so many other wrestling companies have tried to do numerous times. When this was discovered and the fact that no one was buying into Mahal as a main eventer, never mind WWE Champion, only made fans reject what they were witnessing even more. The nadir came when it first appeared that Jinder would face Universal Champion Brock Lesnar in a high-profile match at that year's Survivor Series. Then at the last minute, AJ Styles defeated Jinder to become the new WWE Champion, and the match instead saw Styles taking on Lesnar. Rumors have persisted that Brock refused to wrestle Jinder, hence why the title change occurred. Mahal explained during a sit-down interview with Chris Van Vliet in 2024 that he thinks the change was made because AJ and Brock's style of wrestling would be much better, not to mention that both Lesnar and Jinder were heels at the time. Whether this is true or not is unclear, but considering what we ended up with on the show, most probably don't even care at this point. Number 6. A Flair for the Rescue. 2018 was unquestionably the year of Becky Lynch as she went from being the least relevant member of the Four Horsewomen to becoming the biggest star in the WWE's women's division, despite the company's best efforts to make her a heel. Around the same time, former UFC star Ronda Rousey had joined the WWE, and many wanted to see these two go at it inside the ring. They would come face-to-face in the main event of WrestleMania 35, but with Charlotte Flair added to the mix, thus making it a triple threat match with both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships on the line. Cut to November of that same year, and fans still wanted to see Becky and Ronda fight each other, and it looked like it was going to happen, but fate had other plans. On the November 12th edition of Monday Night Raw, the show ended with a brawl involving the female wrestlers of both Raw and SmackDown, but it infamously concluded with Nia Jax punching Becky in the face, resulting in Lynch being sidelined with injury. This came at the worst possible time, as Becky, who was SmackDown Women's Champion, was scheduled to face Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Instead, the company had Charlotte, who was the new Women's Champion on SmackDown, take Lynch's spot in the match, and by all accounts the match was easily one of the best of the night. Number 5. The Perfect Substitute. For much of 1992, Randy Savage was feuding with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, along with Flair's associates in Mr. Perfect and Bobby Heenan. Soon the Ultimate Warrior and Razor Ramon were added to the mix, and by that year's Survivor Series, a tag match was set to see Savage and Warrior versus Flair and Ramon. However, those plans soon changed as Warrior was fired from the WWE under intense scrutiny over the use of steroids, and Warrior had received steroids prior from a pharmacy located in the UK. This caused the company to change plans, and did so by building a storyline which saw Mr. Perfect having a falling out with Flair and Heenan. This all culminated in Perfect accepting Savage's offer to be his tag team partner at Survivor Series, with the two defeating Flair and Ramon, albeit by disqualification. Number 4. Running down the rattlesnake. At the 1997 SummerSlam pay-per-view, Stone Cold Steve Austin faced Owen Hart for the Intercontinental Championship, with the Texas Rattlesnake emerging victorious. Sadly, Austin's win turned hollow as he suffered a serious neck injury from a tombstone piledriver delivered by Hart prior to the finish. For the rest of his career, Austin's neck issues would continue to plague him, resulting in Stone Cold needing to take some time off. This leads us into the 1999 Survivor Series event, where Stone Cold was scheduled to face The Rock and Triple H for the WWF Championship. Despite knowing in advance that Austin wasn't going to compete, the WWE still convinced fans that Steve was going to compete, only for Stone Cold to be the victim of a hit-and-run assault in the parking lot, thus writing him out of the match. The Big Show was chosen to take Stone Cold's place in the match, with the 7-foot-tall giant winning his first WWF Championship to close out the show. Number 3. Goodbye Latino Heat. The death of Eddie Guerrero on November 13, 2005, was a huge shock to the wrestling world, as one of the most beloved wrestlers of his generation left the world at the young age of 38. Before he died, however, Eddie Guerrero defeated Mr. Kennedy in a qualifying match to become a member of Team SmackDown in the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. Once Latino Heat passed away days later, his spot on Team SmackDown was given to the legend killer Randy Orton, with a third-generation star picking up the win and becoming the sole survivor for his team. Number 2. It's not Vader time. The main event for SummerSlam 1996 saw Big Van Vader square off against Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship. As impressive as the match was, Shawn Michaels' temper tantrum at one point in the contest is unfortunately the only thing people seem to remember about this match, as Vader forgot to move during a top rope spot by Michaels, which leads to Shawn losing his cool on pay-per-view. Between this and the fact Michaels found Vader's style of wrestling as too stiff, ended the Mastodon's chances of ever becoming a world champion in the WWE. To make matters worse, the main event of Survivor Series 1996 was to see Michaels face Vader again for the WWF Championship, but this time it would be Vader who came out on top with the belt. Instead, this spot was given to Psycho Sid, with the blonde-haired behemoth capturing the WWF title, while Vader was thrown into a random elimination tag team match which ended in a no contest. Number 1. Survivor Series 1993. Instead of one wrestler being replaced for our final entry, we're going to be talking about a show that is notorious for having multiple changes to the card. Where do we even start? Mr. Perfect was supposed to be in a traditional Survivor Series tag match to kick off the show, but instead was replaced with Randy Savage, with the reasoning for Perfect's absence never being explained. Tatanka was written out with a storyline injury, and thus was substituted for The Undertaker in the main event. The same can also be said for Quebecer Pierre, aka Jean-Pierre Lafitte, who was replaced by Crush on the Foreign Fanatics team. Matt Bourne, aka Doink the Clown, was fired for failing too many drug tests, which leads to 4 guys dressed in clown makeup wrestling as Doink instead. And finally, Jerry the King Lawler was set to lead his Knights into battle with the Hart family as part of an elimination match, but Lawler was taken off of TV due to sexual assault allegations, thus leading to Shawn Michaels, who was suspended for failing a drug test, to be Lawler's replacement in the match. Overall, the night itself was a mess for the WWE, as many of their well-laid plans were tossed out the window by the time Survivor Series 93 began. And that's why it's our #1 pick. And that's our list. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and hit the notifications bell, so you never miss another one of our videos when it drops.